Hi, welcome to Talking Pro Football with Mike, Domin, and Tom. And this is the summer edition where there's really not a lot of stuff happening, but we're still professionals. We're going to take care of it. Domin's going to start us off with a couple of topics that I'm sure you'll find interesting and enlightening.
And we start with going, yay! All right, thank you guys for watching. We say this every show. We're not professionals. We're not ex-players. Just normal guys, just like watching football. So, like Mike said, let's dive right in. Again, guys, when it's off season like this, we're only going to do one show a month. So this is our one show, and it will be a short one, but we still wanted to keep in contact with you guys. Real quick, gentlemen, not too much, but let's talk a little bit about trades, because there was a couple big ones. Of course, we got Antonio Brown, who went to my buddy Hal's Patriots.
Yeah.
We'll go that, but let's first touch on the big one that surprised everybody, and that is Myles Garrett going to the Rams.
Yeah.
Rich get richer.
I think, yep, this is it. The Rams, this is their all in. You know, if they have to. They're all in. If the Super Bowl is not the end result, it's not what they wanted.
Well, the NFC playoff game, the championship, obviously they'd make it to the Super Bowl, so that's not what they wanted. They didn't address defensive end, which was probably one of their biggest defects, and one of their only defects, really. Because Rams are a solid team all the way across the board. But Matthew Stafford was a little pissed off that they drafted a quarterback in the first round instead of somebody to help them win now, which is why they kind of retroactively went and got Myles Garrett. And they gave up a really good defensive end in Jared Verse, plus the number one draft pick and a 2 and a 3 or a 3 and a 5.
No, 1, 2, and 3. You guys know I've been very critical on Cleveland, but I thought Cleveland made out great. They get Verse. He's not Myles Garrett, but he is a good young defensive player. And they get a 1, and they get next year's 1, the year after that a 2, and the year after that a 3.
Yeah.
So
That's what I meant by the Rams being all in.
They have
this
to. You
year.
give up that much, you better win the Super Bowl.
If it's not the Super Bowl, they
Now I will say this, just a quick segue, and then we can get back to whatever else you want to talk about. But Cleveland's got a new GM, and he is making some really good moves. Something Cleveland hasn't done in a really long time. Their new GM's the one.
Because if not, they're still Cleveland.
Well, he's been making some good moves, including the one we just talked about. He got a starting defensive end plus a 1, 2, and a 3 for a guy that was over 30.
But it's still
Now, granted, he's the greatest defensive end in the thing, but they needed a lot of help, and he got them a lot of help. So that was a good move.
And let's face it, it's just a rumor. It might not happen at all. It might be just, but oh my goodness, if Aaron Donald did go back and play a year, the Rams, good luck beating them. That's going to be a great team.
The only thing that's going to beat the Rams, if it's just a rumor, but if Aaron Donald was to come back and give them like pretty much the best defensive line of our lifetime, the only thing that could stop them would be injuries. But then again, you lose Matthew Stafford. Doesn't matter how good your defense is. All of a sudden, your season's in jeopardy. So
you got a number one quarterback. No?
That's it. All right. The other trade is A.J. Brown going to the New England Patriots. Philly has to be very, very feeling like a monkey off their back because he's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
He's a pain in the ass. I would say if it's any other team, I would have said, no, New England, why are you doing that? But the fact that their coach is Vrabel, who he likes and who's coached him, it's one of those that's good for Philly and New England.
Yeah.
So
I think it's
Vrabel was his coach in Tennessee before he got traded to Philly from Tennessee. So Vrabel knows how to handle him. So I think that's going to be a good trade. But you're right, he's a pain in the ass. That's why everybody keeps getting rid of him. He's one of the most talented wide receivers in the entire league, but people just don't want him around. He causes problems, kind of like. Our next subject, which will probably be George Pickens, who I'll be getting to in a little bit. But as far as A.J. Brown going to New England, they needed a number one wide receiver. That's why they made the deal.
Hey, and at least Pickens today reported to their mini camp, so I'll give him that much.
Yeah, George Pickens showed up, and his agent, I guarantee you, his agent had a little talk with him and said, listen, you caused problems. That's why you got kicked out of Pittsburgh for a song. You did great last year. Do it again this year, and I will show you the bag of money that you've been wanting your whole life. and you'll get a long-term contract, and you'll be the richest wide receiver in the entire league. Play ball, be a good boy, and you'll be fine.
No, it's to me, it's play ball, and we'll try to get you a trade by the end of July. You know, somebody will make another trade offer for him. Somebody's going to be needing a receiver, and Dallas will be happy to get rid of him.
Yeah, he'll be a free agent at the end of the year, so the only thing Dallas could do is either franchise tag him again, which would be in the $30 million plus, or they'll probably franchise tag him and then trade him. So that way they'll have to get something back out of it.
So let's talk hometown. We got some contract stuff with our hometown Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I did see that today Vita Vea was at the OTAs, but did not participate.
But he doesn't need
He's
to.
holding
I'm not
in.
worried about it.
Yeah, and I think that's all contract related. But let's talk about the big one for the Bucs, and we are going to have a difference of opinion. I can tell you right now. Baker Mayfield's contract is up.
After this year, yeah.
So Baker wants it. Wants the contract now. It's tough because he's good. He's very good. I don't think he's a tier 1, and if you think he's a tier 2, then you work out something and keep him. In my opinion, if he's not a tier 1 or tier 2, then I think you need to don't be attached. Because if you don't have a great quarterback, so just how the Bucs feel about him. I think Baker is very good. I don't think he'll ever win us a championship, but I think he's very good. So I don't mind paying him. I just don't want to mortgage the farm for the next several years. But anyway, thoughts, gentlemen?
You got a couple things here. I think the Bucs front office knows Todd Bowles is on the hot seat. If this defense, now that they've got these pieces that they got in the offseason, if they don't make a marked improvement, my thought the other day, I was thinking if the offense could score an average of anywhere between 28 to 30 points a game, which they are very capable of doing,
Yeah.
and if the defense can hold teams to 20 to 24 points, we could have a much better record than what we had last year. If not, the whole shop is going to be clean. You're going to get rid of the head coach. You're going to bring in a new head coach who may not want Baker on a long-term contract. So I could see even the Bucs liking Baker, holding out to the end of the year to see how the season goes. If nothing else, they could always franchise tag him. He may not like it, but they could do it. I could see them very easily cleaning house this year.
A new coach will want his own people.
Yeah.
That we know.
Yeah.
That we know.
All very valid points, gentlemen, and I agree with both of you on a lot of those points. They're very valid. I think the Bucs would be very smart to give Baker $50 million a year, 4-year deal, $200 million. I think they'd be good with about 140 of it guaranteed. That would make Baker happy. It would solidify a good. I do think Baker's a tier 1 quarterback. I think he's up there.
No.
I think he had over 3,600 yards.
No, you're gonna put him. You're gonna put him in the Josh. You're gonna put him in the Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes category.
1.5 in between a 1 and a 2. I'm not gonna put him up right there with Josh Allen, but his numbers were close to Josh's. When you look at the numbers and break it down, he had over 3,600 passing yards. He had 30 plus touchdowns. And I mean, you're talking Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, Caleb Williams was right there too. So I mean, these were all guys that were in the top. He was one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league. So if you're getting him for $50 million when Josh is making 60, that's actually a pretty good deal.
As much as I am a Bucs fan, how much of that was the first half of the season?
But that's just it. I mean, he with all that, with losing the offensive line, losing Mike Evans for half the season, losing Ibuka for half the season, losing all that talent and still putting up those kind of numbers.
He didn't put up those kind of numbers in the second half. I'm not saying it was his fault.
I'm not talking about the season. So for the entire season, he still put up numbers that were within, I think, 1,000 yards of Josh Allen.
I think he's one of those quarterbacks that if he has help by a good team can do
Yes.
great things.
Yes.
I don't want that. I want a quarterback that can put a team on his shoulders. Now, I know there's only a handful in the whole league, but I'm sorry, I want one of those.
I think he can. He's done it in certain games, but I think the Bucks made a mistake by keeping Todd Bowles. Now they've screwed up this
Let's
whole
see.
next season.
Where's your
Coming
chant?
in, I've said it. I'll say it even in the offseason. Fire Todd Bowles. I'll say it every week till it happens. But they made their choice, and look what happened. Oh, Todd Bowles or Mike Evans? Well, guess we know which one they took.
Yeah.
Well, and back.
And it's going to backfire. I really think it's going to backfire.
I think it already did. We missed the playoffs, and Jacksonville, with our old OC, made the playoffs.
But
they
the
didn't have a better
pieces-
quarterback because, baby Thor, Trevor Lawrence, is not better than Baker Mayfield.
No, I don't think so.
I
Yeah,
don't
that.
think he's as good. But they made the playoffs with our old OC, and we kept Todd Bowles. I agree with you. They should have fired Todd Bowles
I don't
2
know
years ago.
what other team fired all the
it's-
assistant coaches and kept the head coach, except this one.
that just makes no
And
sense.
I think we got good pieces. We got pieces that he needed for the defense, supposedly.
Okay, but
so let's see what they
and
do.
we drafted all defense, and I get that, and that was a good thing to do to draft all defense. But with Vita Vea sitting out, like Dominic was talking about, Vita Vea sitting out or holding in.
Well, I think a lot of them.
he's
a
over-
lot of them
he's
are
over
waiting to
30.
see what they do with Baker. Vita's contract is going to be up. Ali Morpet. Cody Monk's contract is going to be up. There's quite a few players whose contract is going to be up. They're waiting to see what they do with Baker. So it's a vicious ball that who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, I can tell you
I don't know
this:
what-
Baker's
I don't
not
know
going to
what's gonna
sign
happen.
for less than $50 million, and if I was him, I wouldn't either.
That's fine. I would not. Yeah, it's just if you like him, you like him. If you don't, you don't.
I like you, Baker.
yeah.
You're awesome.
Oh, I don't
Boomer
dis- I
Sooner.
don't dislike them, but I think they're putting them. They backed themselves into a corner.
Yeah.
So now we're going to see what's going to happen.
One last thing before we go, which I thought was going to be a great topic, and it really is not going to be one.
Yeah.
And you guys know where I'm going to go with this. Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby
Yep.
was by a judge was okayed to play this year after he got caught betting on not only football, betting on his own team, and this was a big to do. A lot of teams were mad, and the judge. I hope I get a lawyer that can do this. The judge said that he's able to play because it wasn't his fault. He was addicted to gambling. Anyway, but gentlemen, this is a moot point because literally on my way before I came here tonight, I saw that he wants to enter the supplemental
Yes.
draft.
Yep.
So that is smart because college, he don't want all that headache of college ball.
Well-
so we'll see. We'll see if somebody will take. Hey,
It's a third round. I think he goes out to like a third round
yeah,
pick.
he's
Well,
somebody will pick him up because we need quarterbacks in this league.
yeah. What was happening is basically everybody was like, "Well, we're going to take Texas Tech off our schedule because we don't want to play with a guy who's doing that."
Yeah.
And I can kind of understand that a little bit. And
But
yeah,
meanwhile, you know it's
you
happening
should-
all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, this is really hypocritical. I mean, you watch ESPN, you watch Get Up, you guys watch it, I watch it, we all watch it. Every other commercial, every 5 minutes, you got a commercial for Hard Rock Bet
Yeah,
or
but
something
don't-
bet. It doesn't-
you don't- you
so
can
the
bet on-
NFL is in bed with gambling. So for them to sit there and if they give him any kind of pushback, I don't know what you do. It's a slippery slope they were talking about, and that's exactly how they described it. A slippery slope.
You don't,
It's
but
gonna
hold
you
be-
on,
don't,
wait
you
a
don't
second.
bet on
Wait,
your
wait.
own team.
Pete Rose? Yeah, hold on. We're talking.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But,
You can bet on your own team, but only if it's to win. I
No.
mean, if you bet on your
Yeah.
own team to lose, or if you're shaving points, you're right. You should never ever be betting on
And that's-
your team
that's
in a
his
game
biggest-
you're at.
that's his
so
biggest
that
mistake.
that one's a no-brainer.
Anyway.
I think it'll be a third rounder. That's what everybody's guessing because they're not going to put a number one draft pick in for somebody that's got that many red flags over the gambling. So yeah, it really did when he said he was going to go to the supplemental draft.
Yeah.
That just kind of changed the whole story.
really did.
It was going to be a big thing. Dama was going to crucify him. Yeah.
All right, we will meet you again in July. Next time we meet you, next month in July, we will be at training camp month.
Yeah.
So that's good. All right, we want to thank.
Let me just leave you what every head coach is saying either tonight or tomorrow night to his whole team. stay out of jail. See you in July.
And don't gain weight.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Stay out of jail, don't gain weight, and fire Todd Bowles.
All right.
thank you guys.
We want to thank the Village players for letting us use this building.
you.
Yeah.
We want to thank our technical director,
Big
Pete
Pete.
Terzian, behind the
Thanks,
camera.
Pete.
All right. And what do we say all the time? What we want you to do, guys?
Want you
Like,
subscribe, and share.
We thank all of our friends and family who are watching. More important, we thank you people that don't even know us that watch. Thank you. Shout out to my buddy.
But thank you.
Shout out to my buddy Dan from work. We'll see you next month, guys. Love football.